If someone told you, you are average, IIT is not for you, what would you do? You believe them or prove them wrong? Hello, my dear students. I am your Nidhi ma'am, a mentor who believes in you before you believe in yourself. And yes, your future self sent me to find you. I have spent 16 years watching so-called average students walking into my classrooms and walking out as IIT top rankers, Olympiad qualifiers, securing a position, a seat in their desired college. So in today's session, I'm going to tell you exactly how that happens. Yes, no, it's not a motivational session or a motivational speech, but it is a real strategy session. So if you are 8th, 9th or 10th grader and ever wondered, am I capable enough to crack IIT? This session is for you. Just stay till end, you'll get your answers today. So let's get going, guys. Just look at this slide, guys. Look at this slide. Marks 60 to 70%, not that good in maths. Usually thinks IIT is for toppers only. If it is sounding familiar to you, then you are at the right place. Yes. So let me tell you the truth. The question was never, am I smart enough? But the real question is, do I have the right time, right foundation, and the right guidance? And if you are in 8th, 9th, or 10th, you have all three in your reach. That is what we build on this channel. First of all, I really want you to have a mindset shift, which is very, very, very important. Because what students or parents usually believe, school marks is equal to intelligence. But the truth is, the fact is, school marks do not define your intelligence. School score is not equal to intelligence score. You might be scoring really good in school, but ultimately you might not be able to score that good in JEE. So let me be very clear here. Your 60% marks in school is not equal to your 60% score in JEE, because school tests your memorization, whereas JEE checks your concept, thinking and application. So most of the kids are chasing the school score. They are not chasing the intelligence. So that is the irony. That is the saddest part. Most of the kids in 8th, 9th, 10th grades, they're after getting good scores in school without putting any extra effort to make that score worth it, which can help them in future build a strong career. Yes, so just be very sure that if you feel you are an average student, my answer to you would be no. It's not the right time to say that, or even the correct thing to say, because you are not tested yet. You have not been tested yet. You have only been, memorizing the stuff. And often I have observed so-called average students, they have such extraordinary potential, but they are not trained yet. That is the only difference. That is the only difference, guys. So let me share a real story with you. There was a student, Ritvik, who came to me when he was in grade 8 from a very rural background of, some southern city in India. So he was like, his parents were also like worried that he is not scoring good, ma'am. Like he's just scoring around 60% in science, not that good in class 8. So we don't think that he can have career in IITs or like in science or even technology. He will not end up in any good college, but he always, he wanted to be in a good college, studying science, technology and all those stuff. But the score in school was telling entirely a different story that time, right? So they were very worried. In 9th and 10th, he was consistent in his efforts. He put a lot of effort under proper guidance and ultimately secured a seat in top NIT. Yes, a student who just scored 60% marks in science in grade 8th, and I'm very sure most of you are scoring more than this right now in your like present grades, right? But still he could get position, admission in one of the top NITs. But what is the secret? It is not a magic. It is not something I'm telling you to impress you. There's no magic behind, guys. The secret recipe is right guidance and consistency. These are the two words that you should deeply feel in. You should, these two words should resonate with you, guys. Whatever your circumstances are, howsoever you, the school, teachers, or your neighbors, or your parents are tagging you right now, doesn't matter. Because usually those tags comes from a school mindset. Your school score, how you are performing in a school. But I have ample example in these many years, a student scoring really badly in school, they crack the top IITs, NITs, triple IITs, right? So the point is the right guidance at right time, plus undoubtedly the consistent efforts. As Churchill said, success is not final, failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. So you are supposed to continue that counts. Yes. So usually why students are not able to come out of that trap? Because of the three big mistakes. First, they simply focus on rote knowledge, ratta, cramming, simply mugging up the stuff without having the understanding of the concept, because they just want to score good in their school. That is the only way to prove themselves to others that they are intelligent enough, they are good enough. And second mistake, late start. Late start is the silent killer, guys. Still in India, most of the students start their JEE journey when they are in grade 11th. That is really not the right time. Why it is not the right time? I'll tell you further in the video in detail, right? So one is rote learning. Second is late start in their preparation, starting only in grade 11th. But the most transformative years of your life where you can change your pathway ahead are 8th, 9th and 10th grade. Yes, that is the thing. That is the, that is why we are here on this channel. If you're an 8th, 9th, 10th grader, we want to tell you how you can spend these three transformative years that can define your pathway ahead. If you really want to get into the college that you want with the desired branch, these 3 years should be spent, thoughtfully. And third is no benchmarking. No national benchmarking. Usually, being a school topper, you feel that, okay, you are like very intelligent. So ultimately, whenever you are going to give any national exam, you are going to top there. But that is the biggest mistake. Yes, being a school topper doesn't mean being a national topper or being the good national competitor. So that reality check, that benchmarking, that eye-opening thing has to be there in the early ages, because then only you have time to work, to build on your skills, on yourself, right? To groom yourself, to learn, to make, changes to your habits. That all will take time. You need time. Yes. So these are the three mistakes that keeps you trapped in that average loop. Yes. So trust me, guys, the superpower is the ultimate superpower that you have presently that can fulfill your dream of IIT is the time. Yes. Let me tell you two stories, right? A student who is in, 8th, 9th or 10th grade. There's another student who is in 11th grade. They both started their journey with the only goal to crack IIT. One started in 11th, so he spent his 11th and 12th in rush, anxiety, panic, syllabus coverage, superficially covering the topic, having a lot of pressure to perform. There's another student who started his journey in 8th or 9th. Enough time to build the habits, no rush, no anxiety, no panic, time to fail, learn from failure and grow. So please, my dear students, IIT exam, JEE exam is not a sprint. It is a long race. So to win a long race, your preparation should also be like that. So always remember, yes, Here, most of the students feel that if we start in 8th or 9th, we'll feel burnout. If you are feeling burnout by starting at 8th or like in 8th or 9th grade, that means your approach to learning is not the right. Yes, so it is highly advisable that you should enjoy the process of learning. How can you enjoy the process of learning? If you have time, how can you have that much time, that much liberty to make, to fail, to, understand, to learn? That is only possible if you have time, enough time to go through the entire process. And 11th and 12th, a huge amount of syllabus. In 12th, board exams are also there. You are simply rushing through the syllabus, chasing the syllabus, giving the test, getting not so good marks in test, getting demotivated. So it is a loop that you'll, stuck in when you start your journey in 11th and 12th. At the same time, if you start in 8th or 9th, you have enough time to enjoy the process, understand the concept deeply, apply the concept, make mistakes. You'll be enjoying the journey, right? And one very important thing I really want to share with you all, because whenever I share this stat with the students, they usually get shocked that the 60% of your syllabus that you study in science and maths in 9th and 10th grader, that is the same, that overlaps with your JEE or NEET syllabus. It is just that in 9th and 10th you are learning those topics superficially, mugging the formula, but for the same topic, as far as JEE NEET is concerned, you need to have a better understanding, clarity of the concept, not just the mugging up the formula. So if you spend your 9th and 10th learning those Newton laws, chemical reaction, algebra in detail with real understanding, that will give you a huge advantage in your 11th and 12th. Right? You just need to modify how you learn the concept that you are studying in science and maths in 9th and 10th. So just make sure the way you are studying these chapters, that should be thinking about the bigger cause, that you want to crack a prestigious exam, you want to get into an IIT, right? How you should be understanding this topic, how you should be perceiving this topic. If you are supposed to crack a question, an unseen problem on the same topic, on the same concept, if it will be asked in your IIT exam. So that is how you should redefine, redesign your learning process in 9th and 10th. And take that advantage, guys. Take that advantage. Same 9th topics, 11 topics, class 10 topics, class 12 topics. They are same. It is just the clarity, the depth of the concept you need to work upon, right? So rather than focusing on the formulas, the cramming, the root knowledge, you should understand the concept, why it is happening, how I can do this differently, how this concept can be applied in a different problem, unseen problem. So please develop that type of learning here. Yes. Maybe cramming, rote knowledge can give you instant pleasure by giving you good marks in school. But ultimately, those marks are not going to give you anything in the long run. Rather, they will disappoint you, because you yourself, tagged as a very intelligent student, because I'm scoring 95% in my school. That is why I'm a good student, intelligent student. So I should score equally good in all the exams in future. And same kind of expectation the parents are also having from such students. I was also a topper. I was a topper in my school, topper in my district in class 10th. So everyone around me, they also expect me to perform good in all the competitive exams. I didn't start early because I didn't have that much of awareness like 22 years back. There was no one to guide me. What is the right time to start? What is the right foundation? How 8, 9, 10 should be spent in a right way, so that will facilitate my 11th and 12th ultimate IIT goal or the science journey. There was no one. And honestly, even after being the topper throughout my school, I failed miserably. They were like the first few months of my class 11th, grade 11, they were like nightmare to me. I was not able to match up with the pace. I was not able to get good scores as I was getting And above that, everyone around me who were having high hopes from me and suddenly seeing me struggling in scoring good in my preparation, they also feel demotivated and disappointed. That broke my heart even more. So I really don't want any child to feel the same. That is the whole point of me taking this session, telling you the truth right away, making you prepare for the future ahead in 8th, ninth, and 10th. If I had someone who told me in 8th or ninth that you should start, doing your school syllabus with a different perspective, understanding the topic, not just chasing the school marks, I would have been a altogether different story in 11th grade. Right? So just make sure if you are watching this video, universe is telling you something, universe is trying to help you, your future self sent me to find you via this video, that you should spend your 8th, 9th, 10th understanding the topics, learning the concept, applying the concept rather than rote knowledge. Yes. Now let's be practical. How can you start? What to do? Now let's me give you 3 steps. First, a diagnostic test. So you should always, as I said, you should have a national benchmarking where you stand presently, right? So for that, I have an aptitude test. I have, added that link in the description box. So give that aptitude test. It's just aptitude test. No further preparation required. No special preparation of any subject is required. It is just an aptitude test. Give that aptitude test. You'll get to know how ready you are presently, where you stand in this journey. Yes. So give that aptitude test to have a national benchmarking, to have eye opener for you, to set the starting line, and from that line you should grow daily, right? Yes. Next is fix your pace. Just pick one chapter, and the only purpose in a week is to make that chapter strong. Not knowing the formula, but why that formula works, why the other formula is not working, how to approach the question. So the in-depth understanding of that chapter, deep understanding, the true understanding of that chapter has to be there in science and maths, right? So just make sure weekly one chapter, just one chapter weekly, and just explore that chapter. Get involved in that chapter. Enjoy that chapter. Yes, you can start with any chapter you want, your favorite one. There might be some topic in science or maths which you find the most exciting. Just start that, right, in the very first week. Every week choose one chapter and just go beyond your text. Just go beyond your school curriculum. Think about it, right? And the third step is, of course, look beyond your school exams. There are many exams happening in India which are really good exams where you can have that national benchmarking, like Junior Science Olympiad, Maths Olympiad, SEHSS exams, SOF, NSO, IMO. There are many exams happening in India in 8th, 9th and 10th grade where you can participate, learn and have that national benchmarking. It is always good to participate in exams other than your school exam, which can help you to prepare better for the further exams. Yes. And yes, now I'm sure most of you are thinking, ma'am, we have school, we have tuition, coaching, projects. How can we put a lot of effort in 8th, 9th, 10th grade? Yes, how can we spend 6 hours daily to prepare for a future exam which is coming 5 years down the line if I'm in 8th? So my dear students, you need not to have a 6-hour study schedule. Just 45 minutes focused approach. 5 thinking questions daily. 45 minutes without distraction, 5 thinking problems you are solving, and that is done. This is the only thing you are supposed to do. Even if you are doing just 5 problems in a day, a good thinking problem which will help you to evolve a logical critical thinking to understand that topic deeply, nicely, in an year you will have 1825 such problems. Yes, and that is a huge number. Most of the students who are preparing for IIT in their grade 11th, they also don't solve these many problems in a year. So you're already on the track. Yes, because always remember, consistency always beats intensity. Spending 5 or 6 hours a week in a day or daily 45 minutes. I would definitely say daily 45 minutes will give you more benefit rather than spending 6 hours a day in a week. So just be consistent in your efforts. Just 45 minutes. You'll see the magic, guys. See the magic, right? So that is the only thing that you are supposed to do. 45-minute daily, 5 question. But at the end, I will also like to tell you, IT is just a goal. It is not your identity, right? It is not your identity. Just always remember. So this journey, this process of learning, why it is important? Because it will, gives you a discipline, a problem solving thinking skill. It will develop you. That will help you whether you go to IIT, NIT, or you are starting any business. These skills that you learn via preparing for IIT will help you. Yes. So dream big. Aim for IIT, aim for AIMS, aim for MIT, but be fearless. Yes, in your approach of learning. Enjoy the process of learning. That is the most important thing. Yes. So every expert, every person who is your, who you are looking up to as a mentor, as a, someone who motivates you, who inspires you, they at one point of time, they all were beginner. So are you right now. So do not waste this opportunity. Yes, guys. So just make sure that you are taking the very first step today. So today's homework, you are supposed to do it today only, not tomorrow or any other day. Just 5 thinking questions. Just spend 45 minutes, 5 questions today. This is the homework for the very first session. And just see the magic, right? So just make sure that you are doing those 5 questions today so that you can transform yourself. Yes, do not waste time. Just start it from today. Today is the best day of your life to start this journey with full positivity and with full confidence. Yes. So if you are someone who is in 8th, 9th, 10th grade and looking for your journey ahead, how to create a difference in 8th, 9th, 10th for your future exams or your career ahead, so this channel is for you, right? So just make sure that you are subscribing this channel, like, share and subscribe. And yes, if you are ready on this journey of transformation in 8th, 9th, 10th, aiming the top rank, getting into the IIT you want, yes, so do write in the comment, I am ready. And I personally read all the comments, so just make sure that if you are ready from today, just write I am ready. And thank you so much everyone. Keep learning, keep growing.